Hello, hope you're doing well today. Today I wanted to make a video talking about creating and consuming. All my life, I've never been someone who created things. I never knew how to start. The most creative thing I did growing up was making houses on Minecraft, and they weren't exactly great. Or making pretty shoddy art projects like some clay little cup that was the ugliest little thing I've ever made in my life. The vast majority of people are overall consumers, including myself. It's easier now than ever before to just consume things all day long. There are 82 years worth of videos uploaded onto YouTube just alone every single day. Now, a lot of that is crap, but there are still tons of great videos within that mix. You can also scroll TikTok or Reels for hours on end without ever seeing a repeat video. And now with complex algorithms on all platforms, each user has their own selections of videos curated for what they want to watch. When I talk about consuming, I mostly mean content like TV shows or social media. I think video games are a weird middle ground since you aren't just sitting there doing nothing, but it's also not exactly creative. Like there are some games like Minecraft, Stardew Valley, but for simplicity's sake, I'm just going to throw it in there under the same umbrella. That could be a whole video by itself. Honestly, I hate how much I consume. When I'm stuck in the net, sometimes it feels like my life is just being sucked away from me. Earlier this day, Tuesday, January 28th, I had plans to get this video made and ready to upload tomorrow. Well, I ended up finding a stupid web novel that I ended up reading, and I read about 45 chapters in about 5 hours. I wanted to stop doing it, but I was just so hooked. It was so catchy, and I just couldn't stop. So I ended up wasting most of my evening, and I'm not exactly thrilled with myself about it. All my life, and I'd guess most of your life too, has been filled with social media and content consumption. Quite frankly, I do not know a life without looking at a screen. Even when I was a child, I was glued to my Game Boy playing Pokemon games or watching Cartoon Network. It feels absolutely normal and inevitable that I have somewhat become addicted to looking at screens. And I'd guess most days I spend at least 10 plus hours looking at some sort of screen. Here's my screen time just from my phone from last week. These numbers are a little fucked because when I fell asleep, I had YouTube and Twitter and I left it on all night, but even if you take that out, it's still really high. Either way, I'm not exactly being very productive when I'm on my phone. Some people are able to be productive on their phones, more power to them, like making work calls or taking notes or, doing whatever research. I am not one of those people. Life itself is not about producing or creating things, of course, but as someone with aspirations and dreams, sitting on my phone for at least 8 hours a day is not a good way to achieve those goals. I don't know how you feel about watching YouTube or playing video games for an extended period of time, but I get such a bad feeling after spending hours on it. I certainly enjoy my time while I'm on those platforms, yet I get angry at myself for not being more productive. This can be anything, not just making videos or doing homework. I could be searching for internship opportunities, looking for jobs, studying the stock market, learning about something new. Something even simpler would be washing the dishes I've been putting off. Over the last couple years, my procrastination issues have improved a lot, but now it makes it feel even worse when I do procrastinate since I don't do it as often anymore. I constantly wonder what I would do with my time if there were no phones or TVs taking it up. Would I read more books? Would I write more? Would I learn an instrument? Yes, I can do these things now, but I can't lie, I feel stuck in quicksand when I had my phone available. Unless I'm in my school library, I hardly get any work done because at my apartment I have my computer and that has games on it and, well, it's extremely tempting to play them. There are so many distractions. I mentioned this in an older video before, but I'm someone who would prefer to have a smaller selection of things. I get analysis paralysis when it comes to shopping or even investing, so it can be a struggle to take a step forward. I've become so accustomed to scrolling on Twitter or watching YouTube, I tend to revert back to those when I have free time. Of course, I have the option to get rid of my technology and not go on my phone, but if we're being honest, that's almost impossible in our modern world, especially since I have known no world without it. I've always had a desire to create things, and really using the excuse that I'm addicted to technology is a lazy answer. Ever since I was like 13 years old, about 12 years ago at this point, I wanted to make YouTube videos. Well, I mostly just wanted the image of being a YouTuber, not that I would want to be famous, fuck that, but more the fact that they looked like they were just having a great time and so much fun in their videos. It didn't look easy, but you only see the surface of what goes into something until you do it yourself, so I guess that's kind of obvious. I liked the idea of doing it, and sort of beat myself up when I never did until a year and a half ago. My main issue was I just never knew where to start. I was overthinking about the profile picture, the name of the channel, the description, and obviously the ideas of videos I should make. I eventually learned that when creating something, or anything at all, it doesn't really matter what it is, you need some sort of foundation. No matter how bad the foundation is, from there you can always improve and build on top of it. No one perfects their craft in their first attempt. The other barrier to entry was that I would procrastinate by watching YouTube or playing video games. This happens to me still, though not as bad anymore. Once I finally put my head down and started my first video, I got such a good feeling of focusing on a task that I actually wanted to do. Creating videos is like an open-ended homework project where you have to create the problem and also solve it. This is something that I took a very long time to learn. The intrinsic motivation to complete it is euphoric. This feeling really comes up when I get into the zone while working. This is a feeling that I should have felt a long time ago, but I didn't. Growing up, I never had to put a lot of effort into school to do good. I was blessed with a knack for schooling. This meant I didn't have to worry much about school, or more specifically, have to put in a lot of work. I hardly studied, did the absolute bare minimum when it came to homework or projects. I would do everything as fast and as shallow as possible so I could start playing Call of Duty or watch Chugga Conroy's Let's Plays, or even go to baseball practice. I have always enjoyed learning, but it was never the top interest of mine. Before I go on, I sorta left something out that's very important in what I meant by consuming, and that is that not all consuming is bad for you. From an educational standpoint, a great chunk of learning is done by giving students things to consume. This can be textbooks, lectures, or study guides. If someone is spending all their time consuming these items, well, I wouldn't call that a waste of time or make me angry. These are all items that help students become productive. The reason that I called out and specified what I meant by consuming was this fact. Sure, there are educational videos on YouTube or good articles to read on Twitter. Shit, I have learned so many random things and interesting ideas from playing Civ 6. One random idea was I realized every major city has a large source of water near it, river, lake, or ocean. That's because shipping and ports bring in a lot of traffic and economic opportunity, extremely important for a country. Now this is all fine and dandy, yet when I'm on these platforms or playing video games, no matter how motivated I feel to consume good things, I gravitate towards slop. I don't know if you've ever tried reading a nonfiction book for fun. I have, and it was certainly mind-numbing. And granted, I might not have gotten the right one, or I really do like learning about things, but my whole life has been filled with extremely addictive apps and brain rot and games. It's so hard to focus and get excited for mundane things. Lately, a good chunk of videos I watch, I have to put on 2 times speed because I get impatient, something I never thought I would be doing. The problem with consuming good things is that bad things are just so much easier to consume. As a 25-year-old, it's gotten a lot easier to not mindlessly consume bad things compared to when I was younger. It's very hard to fight temptations as a teenager, and it does get easier as an adult. So going back to not needing to try hard in school, I developed very bad consumption habits as an adolescent. Those habits don't just go away without any effort. It's taken a long time to even become semi-consistent with my schedule and emotions and being productive. A lot of this has stemmed from when I started making videos. That zone that I mentioned, it was so addicting. Losing yourself and slowly observing your work get done as you put something in to grow is extremely satisfying. The only time I ever get this feeling is when I play video games, like Minecraft and Stardew Valley. Better yet, even games like Pokemon or Final Fantasy where you directly see the XP bar grow and you grind, and it's just such a good feeling. You directly see what your efforts go towards. This feeling can only be found by creating or grinding something. This is why video games are quite weird when categorizing them. They are great to escape reality and emulate growth, but how much does it really advance your life? It feels very artificial to me, and that's why I hesitate to put them in anything other than consuming things. But after getting a taste of this real growth, I can pretty confidently say that I've changed as a person. I started making videos about 1.5 years ago. Once I started making these, I started pushing the boundaries of what is allowed in life. I started to realize that life is an open book. It took me only 24 years of living to really figure that out. Without it, I would probably still be in Jersey working at the car shop. Now, obviously, the channel never blew up. It did pretty well though, considering how bad my upload schedule was. But nonetheless, it was still very encouraging to see good views on that. Without that channel, I would not be where I'm at today. I try not to regret much in life. It's really not worth it. But after experiencing the feeling of putting in effort into something, I really got upset with myself for not experiencing that feeling earlier in life. I wish I could have put the video games and YouTube down to grind out a project or pick up a hobby. Don't get me wrong, there's no problem playing a lot of video games or using a lot of social media. I have a lot of great memories playing games, and the YouTube videos I still go back to and watch old shit sometimes for nostalgia purposes. I'm not here to belittle anyone or judge you. Shit, I don't give a fuck what you do. There's no right or wrong answer when it comes to how we live, as long as you aren't murdering anybody or doing crimes, obviously. If you haven't ever tried making a video or writing a blog or whatever creative endeavor you really want to try, just start doing it, no matter how bad it may be. I'm not big fans of channels that tell people to just go start making something because honestly, it feels like a bit of a grift. Especially when 5 months later, they now have 25 different videos on why you should start making content. I guess it's a little hypocritical that I'm doing the same thing right now, but oh well, I'm an asshole, I don't care. The only message I will leave you with is that never stop trying new things, even if you aren't comfortable. In the future, if you're going to regret anything, it's probably going to be something you didn't try to do at all, rather than something you tried and failed at. But with that, I'm going to go. Thank you for watching, and if you have any thoughts, leave a comment. Have a good day.